Hello, everyone. Super excited to be here, bringing some new energies after 6 days of legwork, right? You were running around all Brussels, and usually, from my memory, we're doing that in Paris. And it's very interesting to see that now in a small Brussels, people are struggling to travel 20 minutes, and in Paris, they're going for 1 hour one side. Anyway, I'm here to talk to you about Lava Network, and how we build one access layer for the entire blockchain. And by the way, we had our first airdrop claim 2 days ago. So yeah, it's super exciting. And I want to ask you a question, something about that. What is the common denominator between claiming an airdrop, launching a chain, and sniping a meme coin? Does anyone know? Bad RPC, exactly. Yeah, yeah. I hear some mumbles in the crowd. So, yeah, we had our first. The foundation just introduced the first airdrop claim 2 days ago, and how many of you had the airdrop claim, one airdrop claim in the last year? At least one. How many of you had two airdrop claims in the last year? Oh, I see everyone is boosting the pockets in front of the bull run. So the most interesting thing about airdrop is that most of them fail this year, right? Most of them fail. And I was really proud to see how the foundation shipped it to a 6% of the token supply to 77,000 users with no malfunctioning. I think already 60% already claimed this airdrop. And, it went to many amazing communities from Monad, for people, POAP holders and stuff like that. But one thing that usually we see on this kind of airdrop is that it doesn't work, right? Usually you get an error like that saying like, oops, the RPC was not up, the request didn't move through. And this thing we see more and more today, because obviously we have much more chains up and coming. So why is it happening? Because of RPC, exactly. Not finality time, not 100,000 requests per second, not block size. It all go back to RPC. So the common denominator here, and the fact that we see it more and more, is because launching a chain is much easier today. We are in the multi-chain era, and Modular made it much more simple to spin up a chain. We see it doesn't matter if you support the monolithic doctrine, the modular one, chain abstraction, more and more chains are up and coming. So I like this quote, just one more L2, bro. I promise, bro, just one more L2 and it will fix everything. One more L2 and we can fix this whole problem, bro. And this is very interesting because, the way today the modular tech stack is allowing us to spin out modular chain is super easy and everyone can express itself. We believe in this modular era because everyone can make sure that his own community is come up and building. But if you think about how it is today, you think about 3 layers, right? You have the execution layer, you have the settlement layer, and you have the data availability and consensus layer. But if we think about something, didn't we forget something? It's like Legos, right? We can assemble them all together to make sure that it works. But today, the user experience is bad. When we want to bring billions of dApps, billions of users to use and consume this day-to-day new Internet of Things, right? At the end of the day, the user experience is shit. And when we started in Web3, we brought a lot of expertise, tech expertise, cybersecurity, building startups, and we tried to build, from MEV bots to NFTs marketplace. But we've experienced that we cannot communicate with this basic layer of data. Doesn't matter which chain, it always fails. And this is the most crucial point today that we're witnessing. Only in the last year, airdrop claims were malfunctioning. RPC, communicate opening a MetaMask. Sometimes you cannot see the account balance. And all of these news headlines showing you how this layer is neglected. Some examples, you're probably asking yourself, what is this RPC that I'm talking about? RPC is the core communication protocol that you communicate with the blockchain. It uses to request and respond. And it means that once you need to run a node in order to do that. So every time you're opening your wallet, every time you want to see the account balance, make a transaction, read, write, it always uses this request and respond method. Basically, when you think about the internet and how the evolution in the last, since the beginning, Web 1, Web 2, Web 3, you need to be able to communicate with the website today. But the URL that you are typing, www, you don't know what is the HTTP version that you're communicating with, right? You don't know where it's stored. You don't know if it's AWS, GCP, who was the load balancer, and so forth. Why in Web3 it has to be like that? And the core promise of Web3 that everyone is permissionless and everyone can run its own node in order to connect. But actually, it's not really like that. Because today it's much more complicated to run the Solana node, to run any Cosmos chain node, even to run a Lava node, and not a single user, end user, needs to do so. So who was hijacking in the last few years this neglected layer are RPC providers. And these very reputable providers such as Alchemy, Infura, QuickNode, what they're doing is they reduce down the barrier to communicate with the blockchain themselves. But in the era today, since the last cycle, in the 2 years, they cannot support all chains. So what chains ending up doing is offering public RPC. And when public RPC means that they going to other providers, start a request, quotes, who's going to serve me? How much are I going to pay? What is the lock-in contract? But the major provider don't support those each and every chain. They cannot. They basically cannot. It doesn't matter if they have dozens or hundreds of people. So they end up asking the community to voluntarily use and actually join and serve this service, serve this RPC. So obviously it's ending up with the chains has to do that themselves. It's not their goal, and they don't need to waste the resources to run the nodes. It's exactly as if everyone gonna implement their own version of cloud. And obviously it doesn't make sense. It's not scalable. So this is what Lava presenting. We present an access layer that can communicate and serve each and every chain. So chain are launching what we call incentive pools, putting rewards inside, inviting providers to join and receive rewards based on a quality of service. We started doing that with RPC. But what about indexers, oracles, sequencing, LLMs, right? AI. So AI is coming also. And what if we can have such a marketplace that push the best data provider? And this is what we've been building in the last 2 years.
In the beginning, there was only magma, fire, flame, and fragmented islands called blockchains. But there's a problem. Access to Web3 is slow, unreliable, and increasingly fragmented. How many airdrops have you failed to claim? How many mainnets have you failed to use? How many dApps have you failed to connect to? Introducing the forgotten layer of the modular stack, data access. A network built for speed and reliability on every chain. With flexible tooling, and over 15 billion RPC requests made on Lava testnet across 30 plus chains. Magma arrived February 15th. Lava is coming. Join our Discord for updates.
So we believe that the neglected layer is this layer. It's the Lava network. And Lava network actually aggregate a list of providers that running nodes, starting from running nodes. They have been staking Lava to be accountable for the service they give. They can join any of the pools you've seen before, any of the roll-up chains, L1s, L2s, doesn't matter. Chains can permissionlessly create those incentive pools and put native token USDC in order to reward those providers. It means that there's not going to be a single point of failure. Today, instead of a dApp building on one chain and needs to contract a specific RPC provider, if he's down, they need to implement load balancer, disaster recovery, backups, and we are solving this problem. So it's modular because it's going to be on any chain, any API, and interface. We have a special concept in Lava that we call champions, which means that if someone from the community can define this spec and get rewards for the entire life of the spec when it's up and running. It's end up taking the funds of every chain and monetize them much, much better. Instead of taking the resources, spinning up nodes, the incentive pool is going back to the community. Because if you think about that, the best super user of the community are the one running anyway the infrastructure, right? So it's like Uber for nodes. You utilize the existing infrastructure. You just listed your nodes on this incentive pool, and at the end of every month, you receive rewards based on the quality of service. This is how we make this contract of the budget for the infra much more incentivized and better. And just 3 steps is used in order to create those incentive pool. The chains define the incentive pool, define the spec, launch incentive pool, putting incentives, invite providers to join, and at the end of the month, providers receive rewards based on the quality of service. What about if those pools can be meme coins? You can incentive better, you can create more engagement with your community. That's also possible thanks to IBC and thanks to other tech stack that we're using within the Cosmos. So as a recap, I want to be RPC provider. I want a server pool. What do I need to do? I need to stake Lava. And this is the first time that we make sure staking Lava present accountability. If one of the providers doing the service and we see that it didn't give the latest block, or it even didn't, was malfunctioning, he had a downtime. At the end of the day, he can be jailed or even slashed. So there is an incentive mechanism to make sure that the reliability, resiliency of the service is the highest. What about Lava stakers? So I'm excited to present this topic that the foundation talked a few months ago, restake. So I'm sure you heard restake from EigenLayer, but every Lava token holder can bet on the best service provider. So you can delegate the tokens to a validator, but restake it to the chosen providers. Provider receive service based on the quality of service and the stake that they have, the skin in the game that they have. And this is how we build a much better incentive mechanism. So we're getting speed towards the mainnet. And as you see from the video, the stats keep changing every day and increasing. Over 46 billion requests have been served. We reached a $2 billion daily. And we support almost 40 chains with 400,000 daily active wallets. They change the RPC to Lava. They make sure and they receive a much better service instead of using only one RPC provider. So incentive pool on Lava already been rewarding back users hundred thousands of dollars. Dozens of providers serving on Near, Axelar, Evmos, and they bring an amazing service. They get back rewarded with those incentives. Those incentives being put by the chain themselves. The foundation will launch soon and will announce new partnership with Cosmos Hub, with Starknet, Filecoin, Union, and more. And I invite you all to join these pools. So just as a recap, Lava introduced much better scalability, solving the problem of RPC in every chain, give a better data accuracy to make sure that there's reliable data, and bring back to the community the power to use the resources on much more important things. We have, for the devs, we have different tooling options. You can use the Lava SDK, a direct communication protocol straight from the browser into the provider themselves. So Lava is not a single point of failure, basically. And you get up to 100% reliability. We have also the server kit for more enterprise usage and the Lava Gateway that been announced in every of the chain I talked before. So I think you all have seen the announcement about the airdrop claim yesterday, 2 days ago. The foundation will announce about mainnet very soon. And sorry, one last thing. Come to meet me after the presentation. We have a special pop-up for you, and it's going to be a very good memory from here. So I was Yair Cleper. Please find me afterwards. Very excited to be here and looking towards an amazing year of access layer in every different ecosystem. Thank you. So I think we said a few questions. If anyone has a question?
Put us through how a node operator on whatever blockchain can register on the pool on the Lava network?
Yeah, obviously, inviting you to join the Discord. We spending in the last 2 years immense time in the documentation and explaining exactly how to run a node, how to join a pool. It's pretty straightforward. From the statistic we see, it takes up to between 5 to 30 minutes to join and spin a Docker, join on a pool. And yeah, basically you need to run a node of the dedicated chain in order to serve this chain. During the testnet, there was no staking obviously available, but I believe now during mainnet, you will be introduced to the staking mechanism. So you need to stake Lava, and you as a provider are receiving service based on the quality of service and the amount of stake. I hope it makes sense for the question.
Does all node provider need to be full archival, or do you have different system for shorter period of time, pruning?
So you're asking about if you have to support archival as a no. So basically, great question. When we started building Lava, we thought about the flexibility it brings, right? So somebody who's running a node at home and just want the basic RPC service, some using archival data, some use indexing, and obviously it's flexible. You don't have to run only archival node or only that. You can participate and receive and provide service for any APIs at the end of the day that you choose.